We are back. I just found out I was recording for 17 minutes and forgot to switch the scene so you guys could actually see the computer. That was really fun. Sorry to anybody that kicked out of the stream. Did not mean to do that. I just have to restart. The whole point was to show you the videos. But since you're restarting, I guess I'll rephrase what I was saying earlier. So I'm going to be trying two new things on my stream. Hopefully, you guys like that. It's something that I have been wanting to show you guys for a while, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. So, obviously, the first one, it's kind of the boring part. I know a bunch of people kind of get bored and they just hop off the stream. That's whatever. You can kind of just switch, or skip this part of the video if you don't really care. But if you going over like the weekly updates for Marvel Rivals, so like skins, maps, heroes, season updates, dev vision, stuff like that. I always like looking at those. I get excited like when new stuff comes out for the game, or for what's ever coming out that week. They always got stuff dropping, so I always get really excited to look at that. So I think it'd be really cool. Like on days that I go over Marvel Rivals, like before the new update, we talk about it here. Get excited, see the videos that they dropped for us. Talk about it a little bit, and then um, you know, other than that, like there's really other only like one other thing that I don't really know if I want to talk about because like I know it's like very technical and I'm not really like into that, which is like the like I want to talk about patch notes, but I don't really want to talk about like all the stats. If you guys really want me to talk about that, then go ahead and let me know. I'll definitely talk about it. Like I'll look on the website and we can talk about it here, but you know, it's not something I'm like interested in like primarily. But I'll definitely do it if you guys like doing that. Like you guys are my fans. All right, sorry, you guys are my followers. I love like talking with you guys, and if that's what you want, then yeah, I'll definitely talk about it. But and then the second thing that we're gonna do is something I do really enjoy, which is character concepts. Skins. Oh, sorry, characters, maps, cool ideas, stuff like that for Marvel Rivals. Stuff that I would definitely characters I would definitely like to see, and then stuff I would like to see in the game, and then lastly like maps, obviously. But and then when I do this, this is not me saying, oh, this is how it needs to be. Like it's whatever. Everybody has their own opinions. They can say what they want. It's just stuff that I'd like to see in the game, or characters I would like to see, or especially like how I want to see the character. Because sometimes with the characters, I'm like really picky. Like for Vision, I definitely have an idea for him that I don't want. Like there's an idea of him I don't want in the game, and there's an idea of him I do want in the game. So like obviously I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying like this is what I want. I think it's cool just sharing ideas with people. Concept ideas. Obviously I can't draw, so we're not going to get into all that. We're just going to talk about the actual like character design, or sorry, I guess like the design of the kit is the better way to say that. But other than that, that's kind of like basically it. If you guys like it, let me know. I'll definitely keep doing it. Um, there's that. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that. Like I said, that ideas. So I actually have a lot of these already on my Reddit page. If you guys want to go check it out, I have it in the link down below. So you guys go ahead and check out my old ones. I ended up posting like about a few like what 4, 6 characters already. If you guys want to go check those out, they're pretty dope. And then I came up with like 2 maps. So I guess 4 characters because I usually put characters and maps together. What is up? What is up? What is up? Um, so that's definitely there. And I also put out some ideas, like obviously before the new year came out with Rivals, I put out some like ideas that I'd love to see for the new year in Rivals. So definitely go check that out if you want. But other than that, we can go ahead and get started again. All right, so we're gonna check out the map, the new map, which I'm really excited about. Sorry, Chipotle, no free ads today. No free ads today. All right, so this new map is called Lower Manhattan. Really excited about it. Really dope. Really dope. Pigeons, 10 out of 10 already. Nice. Poggers. Chipmunk, definitely just downgraded the map, 9 out of 10. Sorry, Squirrel Girl, do not like you. All right, I think this is pretty dope. This is the ESU part of the map. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, when I heard about the map, I was like, "Oh, bet, what's in the map?" And then like I forgot like when they dropped all the skins that ESU was even gonna be in the map. Like when they dropped the video, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. ESU's in the map. Like, why'd they add that?" Completely forgot it was even like a part of like the story. I know what you're gonna say, Josh. What are you thinking? You're right. I wasn't, but whatever. I think it's really dope. think it's a really cool part of the map. Oh, sorry. Gotta turn on the music. The music's really cool in this map too. I think this part of the map is really dope just because it has the Spider-Man stuff. I know a lot of people are like, why? It's reused stuff that's already in other like maps. True, true. But one, Spider-Man's from New York, so maybe we'll get some cool like new ones in there, like new posters or whatever. And second, who's to say that, as the game gets bigger and, more characters, especially Spider-Man related characters or Spider-Verse related characters join, that they're not, gonna add new like posters and stuff like that. So I definitely want to keep an eye on this. I love anything Spider-Man, so I'm really excited about that, which is really dope. And then I've heard some people talk about this part of the trailer, which because of the posters, like they have a bunch of posters for the new skins, which are really exciting. I always like when they integrate the new skins into the map. They're always really dope. All right, so I've heard a lot about this map before too, because it's kind of like the science part. Like I guess it's like the laboratory of ESU, maybe like inside. So there's like a scorpion over here. People are like, oh, maybe it's like an Easter egg for Scorpion. Never know. I think it'd be really dope for that. I definitely have my own idea for Scorpion that I want to see in the game, so stay tuned. Maybe some other stream, I'll definitely talk about him. I have plans for him. It's not what we're talking about today. Spoiler alert, but there's that. And then over here, I think there's like a symbiote thing or something. I don't remember. What does it say? Yeah, I think it says symbiote. I can barely read the end of that. So that's whatever. Maybe like on this side, I would love to see like a lizard Easter egg. So like fingers crossed. It could really be whatever. I think it's a dope little part of the map. This is what I think everybody's excited about, or sorry, second most exciting thing that everybody's talking about, which is like the Jeff statue. It's obviously referencing the bull out in front of Wall Street, but I think it's really funny. Jeff's just chilling out there, whatnot. I'm excited for that. Looks pretty dope. We got some Wilson Fisk posters, really cool, really cool. Got Alchemax in the back. We got Statue of Liberty. I think it's dope. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the raft, and obviously we get close to Alchemax. Initially, before like the this video came out, like when the roadmap came out, it said for the map for the season was Lower Manhattan, and I guess it's kind of another reason why I didn't think about ESU firsthand. So the main thing I was wondering is if we were going to get like anything prison related, because in the lore they're in prison. Hopefully they'll just come out with prison suits. I am really excited to see if they come out with that in the Black Widow half of the update. And so I'm excited they added, the prison. Maybe it's the raft, maybe it's not. I don't really know. I'm not, like nose deep in the lore like that. But I think it is. Don't quote me, but I think it is. But I'm really excited they added it to the map, which is pretty dope. So it's a plus for me. Got Fisk, pretty dope. He has such a cool design. And then this is his end game model. So it makes me wonder, like, will they drop him as a character soon? I really hope so. I think Kingpin as a character would be pretty dope. You could definitely do whatever you wanted with him. Like, there's definitely so many ways you could take him, but hopefully they add him. But I think there's gonna be like a Dracula type role for his map. He's gonna be chilling on the map doing like maybe he's doing 6-7. You never know. You never know. This is like the creature from like the artwork. So there's not really much there. I don't really know what his name is. Down here, we'll see it in a little bit, but there's like some artifacts. People know what this one is. We're really about to see it in a second. I don't know what the rest of them are, so maybe we got some cool Easter eggs. Hope so. And then, real quick. Yeah, this is what everybody's really excited about. This is the hood mask. Oh, sorry, the hood. Tweaking out over here. I think it looks really cool. I like the hood as a character. I really want to see him in the game. Personally, I think they're going to add him in the Halloween-ish season with Ghost Rider. That's like my personal belief. I think his hood looks really dope. If that's already like his model already, I think it looks amazing. But I guess to talk about the map a little bit more, I'm really excited for the new map. I love getting the new maps. Obviously, I love getting new characters and skins, but I do like getting new maps more because I think it's super cool. I do have some caveats for new maps. Like for this one, I heard it's like a convoy map, basically, or it's sort of basically. I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it. If you know me, which some of you guys don't, I'm new on here, but I guess to get it out there is I like an even amount of maps. So like, don't get me wrong, I love Convoy, but we've had Convoy, I'm pretty sure the last 3 seasons. I mean, I'm not hating. I love the maps. I appreciate the work that they put in. But I do like point maps, where you capture the point. I like those maps, and I wish we had like more of an even balance. Really, let me know what you guys think down below. But like personally, I just wish we had more evenness. So like, I'm not saying like I hate the map. I think the map's really well designed. I think it's really cool. Just wish it could have been like a point map. I think that would have been a lot better. But I mean, Marvel Rivals knows what they're doing, so I have full faith in them. I don't have any reason to be like no, but it's whatever. Like I said, I think the map is cool. I do like. I hope maybe we'll get some cool little Easter eggs that weren't shown in the map. Especially like how they did with what was it, the collector's map? Like there's a bunch of Easter eggs all over that stuff before. You could see some of them in the video when they dropped it initially, but hopefully, sorry, hopefully like when it drops later this week, we'll take a look and see if anything's new. Should be really cool. I always love seeing the little Easter eggs and stuff in there. Um, Other than that, let's go check out the new skins this week, which are pretty dope. Pretty dope, pretty dope. You guys have any comments on the new season? Go ahead, let me know. Definitely want to hear, or sorry, the new update. I'm definitely excited to hear about it. All right, hold on. Let me clarify. All right, take a little peek at this one. Sorry, Pizza Hut. You don't get free advertisement either. All right, this is the Invisible Woman one. Okay, pretty dope, pretty dope. She got different colors. Okay, real quick. This is what I've heard. Like I've seen the meme before, but I don't know what it's called. So don't get mad at me. It's either like a video game or an anime where like it's like the objection meme. That's what this is referencing. I always think it's really cool when Marvel Rivals puts in callbacks or references to like media, especially like anime media or stuff like that. I think it's always really dope and really cool. I think the alternate skin colors are really cool. I think the skin itself is really dope too. And then from what I've heard, there's no like special sound effects for this skin, so or there might be. I don't like really hear a big difference. Yeah. And then obviously there's no visual VFX for the ult. I don't really know what you could have done. Just like put like books flying or something like that. Other than that, I think it's really dope. Here's the MVP. So that's cool. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. I forgot to show the video on camera again. Well, look at it again. Okay, here we go. Let's take a little look at it again. Now I was talking. Okay. Okay, dope sauce. Here's your skin like I was talking about. It's pretty dope. You got alternate colors. There's the joke I was talking about, or the reference, the objection reference. And like I said, there's no special sound effects. There's no special colors or anything. It all kind of looks the same. It's whatever. It's nothing crazy. And as you can see, there is no VFX like I was saying. Obviously, now you can see it. Now you can see the MVP too. It's pretty dope. Okay, now that we saw that, all right. What was I gonna say? Okay, yeah. First off, I think the skin's really dope. I really like a lot of it. I think it's a cool design. Obviously, if you didn't tell, it's a legendary skin, so there's that. Um, we got to see the opening, the MVP. They both look pretty dope. Maybe some people might be upset that there's no Ultimate VFX. I mean, there's no way to say that they won't add it later. They always do that. They love Invisible Woman. I love Invisible Woman. She was my first Lord. I think the skin's dope. I'm really excited about that. But it's whatever. Pretty cool skin. I think they did a pretty cool job. So let's go ahead and get this Johnson started on the Mr. Fantastic skin here. So we can go here. Take a look here. All right. And we have another random ad. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. Much appreciated. Sorry. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool emote. Pretty dope. Okay. So if you can tell, it's not legendary, it's epic, it's whatever. I think it's still pretty cool. I'm a big Mr. Fantastic fan. I actually have him Lord. He's one of my favorite Lords. Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I actually have a Discord below if you want to go ahead and check that out. I have it for the channel. I think it's pretty dope. Um, Sorry, got off track. Yeah, no, I think the skin is pretty cool. Um, I like Mr. Fantastic, like I said. He's always a really dope character. Oh, oh, sorry, I didn't know if I was lagging. All right, yeah, he's a really dope character. I always like getting him, playing him. The one thing I will say is I don't really know why he has headphones. Like, he's a scientist. I don't really know what that has to do with headphones, but nonetheless, I think it looks really cool. I mean, why would it not? Um, what else? Oh, like you could see, there's no special VFX, not legendary. Other than that, I think it looks pretty dope sauce. Um, I think this. I think these are my favorite skins so far for the season because what came out last week? Or hold on, let's not get crazy here. I think the Ultron skin was pretty dope. Um, I also think that the hold on, want to fix my camera real quick. That way the chat's not covering me up. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah. Sorry, that was irritated me. Um, Hold up. There we go. That way we can see your guys' chats. There we go. Didn't want to. I didn't want to hide you guys, but I also didn't want my face covered. Yeah, I think those are the. I think these are like my second favorite skins because I like the Ultron skin. You've heard my complaints kind of already about the ESU skin for White Fox. Like I said, I don't hate it, but I just wish it was maybe like a secondary skin or something like that. Um, I just wish that it wasn't our launch skin. That's basically what I'm getting at. And then I think the Punisher skin was pretty dope. That was pretty cool. Then what came out last week? What came out last? Oh, Captain America skin was pretty dope. The football one, and then the Cloak and Dagger one was cool. I think these skins are really dope. They're some of my favorite characters, obviously. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started on like the main part that I really want to get at. So hopefully you guys like this update. If you do, let me know. But if you don't, man, whatever. I'm still gonna do it. You can just skip past it next time. But let me know. I really want to know what your thoughts are. All right, this is my main part. Marvel Rivals concept characters. Like I said, I do it on Reddit all the time. Go check it out. They're really cool. I have it in my link. So today, obviously, surprise is gonna be Ant-Man. We actually have two characters. Well, the first one's gonna be Ant-Man. I'm pretty sure you guys can guess the second one. It's whatever. All right. Anyway, so my idea of Ant-Man is gonna have a be DPS. He's about 250, 275 health and go either way. Don't really care. He's gonna be 4 out of 5 stars, and so we're gonna go ahead and get his main fire done. We're gonna call it Astounding Punch, based off the Astounding comics or whatever they're called, the original debut of him. So the way I think Ant-Man is gonna work, and obviously they mess around with characters and kits. Like when they create one character, they do something that's new and different. And I think sometimes they also test out other stuff for characters. And so we can obviously very well see this and like the town, what is it, town square with the like pin particle like sandwiches, and you shrink down, you get big. Obviously, they want to see how obviously tested for Ant Man, but they want to see how like players react to it, like what's too big, what's too small, stuff like that. And obviously, like the big issue everybody's gonna bring up is like hitboxes. How are hitboxes gonna work? With a character that's shrinking and getting bigger. I think that's a very valid complaint. You can't have somebody like the size this big and be like, how am I supposed to shoot him? He's just gonna be one tapping me, stuff like that. And I think that's a very valid critique. I think a good way to go about that is obviously you kind of have to minimize their shrinking, like as bad as that sounds. Like I think that's really the only way that works. As bad, like as much as you don't want to say that, that's literally how it's going to work at all. Thank you for the cat. Appreciate that. So like when I built this kit, I kind of built it around that idea. Like the best way you're going to incorporate his shrinking and growing is through his abilities. Like you can't just have him get like really small and then he stays small for the whole game, or like he can't just be small the whole game. Like that doesn't make sense. Like look, okay, good example is Jeff. Because this is a hitbox example that I want to bring up. Jeff, if you were gonna make him like accurate, like a little more accurate to the comics, like he would definitely be smaller. Like he's a baby land shark. Like he's kind of big. Like I'm not gonna joke, like lie with you. Like he's just a big creature. Like he needs to have a big hitbox. You can't just have like a little tiny like shark walking around and nobody can hit him. You get what I'm saying. So I think the way this works for Ant Man is like when he shrinks down during his like abilities. What I'm saying is like during his ability animations, obviously. Like obviously, like the hitbox might have to stay the same, or it gets reduced, but not like completely. I think that's the best way of action for that. And the whole reason I'm explaining this, obviously, so it makes sense for Ant Man, but it because it like relates to the first ability, the Astounding Punch. So his primary fire would just be like a melee attack where he punches any foe in his way. It's like a three punch rotation, like boom, boom, boom. But as he's punching, he would shrink towards his enemy to show off his powers. And then when he returns, obviously he grows back to normal size. So I think this is a really cool idea. Um, like I said, it would be like a mixture of left, right, whatever. Or actually, no. It's gonna be a three punch rotation. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. I wrote this down beforehand. So it's gonna be left, right, and I think like an up would be like a pretty cool one. I think that would look really dope. You like shrinking like boom, shrinking boom, and then shrinking boom. Like I think that would look really dope. Especially like if there's like a knockback effect, I think that would be really cool. Because like one of the things they say in the movie is that Ant Man, like even though he's really tiny, he retains his size, or he retains his like strength. So like whatever, like however powerful he can punch, like normal size, he can punch that way small. So I think that'd be like a really cool effect. Maybe he gets like boosted like knockback abilities or stuff like that when he punches you. So maybe that would be really cool. Um, so I'm gonna put this in quotations real quick. Whoops. And my spelling's dog shit. Okay. That's basically all we're gonna have for that part. Okay. So, all right. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is when I'm talking about this. Obviously, it's my idea. I'm not saying this is what it needs to be like. I'm not trying to be a hater on anybody else's ideas. I like hearing everybody's ideas. So, obviously, let me know your ideas. I would love to hear your ideas. I like looking at everybody's ideas all the time. I think it's super cool, especially the artists that do have really cool art. I think those are always really dope to look at. I think everybody's ideas are really cool. I like listening to them. Like I said, if you have a cool piece of idea, like Josh, I think this would look like would be like a lot better in your kit. Let me know. I really would love to hear that. So, but this is just my idea. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to get at. So, like, don't be like, well, Samurai said that this is what it should be like. So this is how it should. No, let's not get crazy here. As much as I would appreciate you bringing me up, that would show me that I'm pretty mainstream. But either way, however the character comes out, I'm gonna be happy because I'm excited. I would really the only reason I'm writing these because I want the characters to come out, and obviously I would want it to look this way. But we're gonna get what we're gonna get, so we don't complain that much. I'm excited nonetheless. But the main thing I was trying to get at real quick is that the abilities I have down here are for like PlayStation. That's why it'll say R2 as opposed to whatever it is on PC. Yeah, sorry I went off on a tangent. That was what I was trying to get at. So like if you're like, what's R2? This is PlayStation controls. So, like, because I play on a PlayStation, I don't have a PC. So that's what I meant to get at. But same other thing. If you see somebody else's design, like don't hate on them. Just like in general, don't hate on them. Like people can have their own opinions on like characters. It's whatever. I think it's cool nonetheless. I think it's better to like share our ideas and say, oh, this is what we want. Hey, this is what we want. Than hating and then being like, oh, this is not what. This is just like a poopy idea. Wait, hold on. Can you not see my can you not see the what's it called? I want to make sure something. Can you not see the thing? The Word document? Hmm. Hold on. I want to see something real quick. Oh, nope. That's not what I meant. That's also not what I meant. Okay, there we go. I don't know what was going on with that. So this is more what I was talking about. Now you guys can see it. Sorry about that. Guess I'll have to. I'm gonna look at that later. That way I know what's going on. Like I said, I don't really know how OBS works, so sorry about that. Secondary fire. It's gonna be the L2. Yes, okay, correct. All right. So for this one, I have a bunch of cool ideas. Let me just get that down real quick. All right, cool. All right. For this one, I'm gonna have it be called the PIM disk. So I don't know if you guys know a lot about Ant-Man, but he has like the little throwable disc that makes stuff shrink and grow. So that would be pretty dope. I think this would look really cool too. That way he's not just melee. So Ant-Man's secondary ability obviously would be to throw the disc, but and the way it would work, I don't know if I want like I don't know if I want like a gambit like 3 spread or do I want like 1? I don't know. I think either way could work. Let me check my notes. Let's see what I have. Okay. I think the way I say it is like 3, but I don't think I mean it in the sense of like spread. I think I just mean like 3 just getting shot at you. You know what I mean? But hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, I'm sorry. I don't. First time doing this. All right. So like I don't want a sprayer motion, but maybe just like at you, kind of like that. I don't know, kind of like a shotgun spray a little bit, but like condensed. If you get what I'm saying, I think that'd look pretty dope. No Pim desk at you. So this is kind of vague. I don't know. Sorry about that. So obviously when they get thrown at the enemy, they would do damage. Oops. And then, sorry, let me get this grammatically correct. They would deal damage, but another cool thing is they would also embiggen them. So I think the really cool part about this, sorry. So I think the cool part about this is depending on where you hit the enemy, it would grow that part of the character model. So like for instance, if you get a crit shot, your head would embiggen. So like you would get like bigger what's it called? Sorry, hold on. Let me get this sentence done real quick. Their head would be larger. Okay. I'm thinking like maybe next time, like I type this all out beforehand and then I talk about it. But we live and we learn. You know, you guys are here, so we're gonna learn about it. We know. All right. So I think definitely it would make like the head larger, for instance, or you hit the body. I don't know. And then like the main point of this is like it would be visually bigger, and then also that specific. Yeah, okay. So the main thing is like once you hit that portion, sorry, I don't know why I just suck at speaking today. Once you hit that portion of the like that the enemy, then it would grow, and then that hitbox would grow. So like example, like I was saying, like with the headshot, if you hit them in the head, their head begins, and then the what's it called, the box for the head would also get big, so that way it would be easier for everybody to hit like criticals. I think that'd be like a really cool idea, stuff like that. I think it would definitely help like a lot of the like maybe like characters that kind of suck, like Black Widow. You're like, what is Black Widow going to do in the game? This kind of gives her something, like if you team up with Ant Man, then she could like boom, 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 snipe them out real quick because like it's obviously like a bigger hitbox. I don't know. I think that would be really cool. I know much people would probably be like, Josh, this fucking sucks. Might be right. Might be right. It might just be like the worst fucking creator on Marvel Rivals like ever. But I do think it would be really cool. Like one, you're getting to implement the discs that we've seen in the movies. I think that'd be really cool to implement them. Like they're doing damage, and then they like I think it's a really cool idea. You like grow a part of the hitbox, and then I don't know. I just think that would be really cool. If you have a different opinion, you have a different opinion. I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. Like Ant Man wouldn't really just be like you're doing all the damage, but you're like a team asset. You get what I'm saying? All right. So moving on to all right. So we're gonna move on to the left bumper. All right. So I'm gonna call this one his movement ability because this is what. All right. So when I came up with these character ideas, I kind of like based them off of like existing kits. So like right trigger is gonna be primary fire, left trigger secondary fire, and I figured out like for most characters, left bumper is like your movement ish ability, and then like your right bumper is kind of like a heavy attack or something like that. All right, but that's kind of like what I based off of. So if you're like Josh, why is this ability there? Why is that ability there? That's kind of the reason why. All right, so for this one, I would be calling it instead of man's best friend. I know it's gonna sound a little cheesy. It's gonna be Ant's best friend. Dude, I'm actually gonna crash out. My like spelling's like so much like doggy dick. All right, so this is gonna be Ant best friend, and we're underline. Fuck. All right, so this would be like a really cool idea. So obviously, you're like, okay, how are we gonna have Ant Man without the ants? Boom, I got you guys. Don't even fret. Don't even fret. All right, so for this one, you know, in the instance that Ant Man, okay, needs to evade, you know, being attacked, he would then call upon I don't know how it's spelled. I think it's like this. I know like how you spell Anthony, but I'm not trying to spell Anthony. I'm trying to spell Antony. Like you remember from the Ant-Man movies, his best friend, like the ant, is called Antony. So like that's what I'm getting at here. And like if you remember, that's like flying ants. So that would make the most sense. So when you press this ability, you would shrink down and fly away. That's basically all there really is to it. And it's kind of like the Hela ability. She kind of flies, like turns small, and then turns into like a raven or whatever. But my difference is that you would actually be able to actually move around. Like I completely get why Hela doesn't move around. It just makes the most sense. Like you can't have like an already more broken Hela than she already is. Like when I say fly around, I mean like turn directions and stuff like that. Basically, just like moving the like directing the bird. All right. Let's see if I have anything. Okay. So, real quick. So, one of the abilities that I have for Ant Man, it's kind of like his passive, like I guess you could say, which would basically just be like, so think Thor. You know, like he has his three hammers. You're gonna have the same exact idea for Ant Man. He's gonna have his three ants. All right. And I know you're like Josh. What the Sigma are we talking about? You're just copying Thor at this point. You could be right. You absolutely could be right. But I don't really care, and I'm gonna do what I want. Anyway, and I think it just makes the most sense. Like this, he's a 4 out of 5 star, so he's not like the basic. He's not super easy. I want him to kind of be a little more technical. Like that's the main point about Ant Man that I want. So, I guess hold on. Like I'm gonna write this down real quick, and you're gonna be like, Josh, we don't even know like where these ants come from or anything. I'll say it in a minute. Um, and then I'll put this. All right, that way we don't have any confusion. We'll actually do the passive ability next. Mm, yeah, just passive ability. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right, so passive ability. What would be a good name for this? Okay, would be a good name. What would be a good name? Maybe I think maybe this would be work. This would work, low key. You think? I think this might work. I think we're gonna call it Ant Farm. I think this would be pretty dope. There we go. All right. So, like I was saying, for Ant Man would similar to Thor's. I see that it is misspelled. I know you're like Josh. That's super like obvious that the difference would be ants. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. And then like the way he would replenish these is by doing damage. I think this is the most obvious answer. Or I think like the better way to say it, like I'm coming up with this on the spot. Would definitely be the way he would replenish these is by doing damage for a faster reload speed. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna do it like this. That way he doesn't become broken. Because you're gonna be like, well, Josh, what if I'm not fighting anybody and I want to play Ant Man? Well, okay. First off, we're gonna look at the rest of the kit, and the rest of the kit gonna be a little broken. It's gonna be kind of broken. You're gonna see what I'm saying. You're like, Josh, this doesn't even make remote sense. Why you wouldn't have it just like passively like refilling itself? Kind of like I think Thor's does that. It makes sense with what I'm about to say, like for the rest of his abilities, for it to be um, only when you do damage. It'll make sense. Don't be freaked out or anything. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. All right. All right. Okay. Next ability, real quick, is gonna be it's gonna be like I don't want to call it a secondary ability, but it would definitely be a secondary ability. Like yeah. Hold on, I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Okay. Cool. 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 I wish you could do like shapes like when you type. Like that'd be so dope. Like if like on your keyboard you had shapes, that'd be dope. All right, so this is gonna be the square button. So for this ability, this one would be called Mighty Kick, Coolio, and then boom. All right, hold up. So basically, all this is a really simple one. Um, Secondary ability, Ant-Man would shrink down and kick. Oh, hold on. Okay, okay. Okay, this is kind of what I'm getting at. Shrink down and when you start to kick some. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Sorry. All right, so hold on. Let's real quick. Let's get this other thing out of here because I don't think it would make sense now that we have this ability. Okay, cool, okay. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, sorry. Wasn't even looking at the right ability. Totally tweaking over here. All right, cool. That way it makes sense. So like the way I was thinking about this is you kick them back and then you can throw the disc. You know, kind of like a combo type thing. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Next, let's take a little peeky. This one would be. So I'm looking at my notes for RQ. This would be triangle ability. So I know you're like Josh. This is like way too much for a kid. I know. I know. I know. I know. But still, I think it would be pretty dope. All right. So this one would be called Ant Swarm. And then for this ability, give me a second. Let me take a little peek at my notes here. All right. So for this ability, the way it would work is switch to. Okay. 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 So this ability would cost 2 ants, and the way it would work, whoever you're facing, Ant-Man would end up calling his ants, and they would all rush the people in the way, kind of like stunning them and freezing them for a minute, you know. If you get what I'm trying to get in that. So I guess like one way you could think about it is you know how White Fox like throws her her secondary ability, and it's like the fox that comes running and everything, and it, like goes through you and it pulls you towards you. So kind of like that, but not really. Like he would just call the ants and it's in like the direction. So kind of like the beginning of Squirrel Girl's ult, but then it just stuns you. You're kind of stuck. And then that's basically all you would do. Like because this is kind of like a combo kit. So I'm thinking like boom, you stun them, boom, you throw your discs, and then like you do damage, stuff like that. All right. So if in a sticky situation, would call upon his ants. I don't know if I want to do right in front of or like let's say yeah. This is just like to get like a visual idea. And it's not auto aiming, none of that. It's just whatever direction you throw it in, it goes. Let me put that in quotations, that way nobody gets upset. No? Alright. And then the other thing, this would cost 2 ants. I know I already said that, but gotta put this in here. Alright, so I think that'd be a really dope ability. I think it makes sense, especially when I implement the ants a lot. Like that's the whole thing. I think that's also like another thing is like if you really want to get into that trade off of like, oh, I can't really show his like shrinking or growing ability that much. I think this is a good escape. You do his ants. Obviously you have to show like his shrinking and growing like in some parts, like his melee and his kick that I was kind of talking about, or his flyaway. But I think you also need to show his ants. Like if you just have somebody shrinking and growing, and he's called Ant Man, and there's no ants, people are gonna be a little upset. They'll be like, Nutties, why are there no ants? I'm just saying. Yeah, but you gotta have kind of a balance. All right. So next ability would be his. Well, let's see how I wrote this other one. So this would kind of be his shield ability, and this is like again like how I like seen it on other kits, like placement wise. So if you're like Josh, that's not where shield abilities go. I'm just letting you know. This is where I'm going to place it. It's going to go right here. And this little Johnson is going to be called... Alright, this one's going to be called Ant Grade Armor. To me, a little dope. Alright. Put a little embolden. Nice. Alright, so... This one will cost 3 ants. Basically all of Ant-Man's ants. And like... So costing 3 ants. Hold on. I want the way I say this, I don't want people to get confused by that. So when called upon, all of Ant-Man's ants would they would run to his body basically. Oh, they would run to him and cover his body. I guess that's a better way to say that. So basically, and then so it would give you shield, top of your health. So I guess that's called an overhealth, basically. Damn, I just like low key suck at spelling. All right, real quick, looking at the ability real quick, giving you armor. Okay, so this one also. Does this make your kick and primary ability deal more damage? And now hold on. And at the end of the ability, all the ants would go in like all the directions. This would be like different to the ant swarm, where they would just go in one direction. This would go in all the directions. Doing tiny bits. And so the only other difference too is you wouldn't stun. You just spread out. And then, like I said, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know, like what are the exact amount of seconds. So I'm just kind of guesstimating here. So I'm thinking like maybe like 10, 15 seconds. I think that would look pretty dope. And then, like I said, this would cost 3 ants. And I guess I should clarify for the passive. Um, yeah. So yeah, like when I mentioned Thor's, he would have 3. Same idea. Ant Man would have 3 ants. So this would be like you're like oh I'm gonna save it and use all 3. And that's why I was saying it needs to be he does damage. It can't just be it grows actively like passively. I mean, I guess it's still growing passively. You're doing it. I'm just saying it can't just be like you're just sitting there and it's you get them back. That's what I'm trying to get at. All right, I think we're almost on his ultimate. Let's take a little peeky. Yes, we are. We are. Okay, dope. Dope sauce. So ultimate ability. Hold on. How did I write it up here? Curious. I just said ultimate ability. All right, dope. Josh, I know you're like Josh. How do you spell ability wrong? It just happens sometimes, guys. I'm sorry. I know it happens. Sorry, this is like really boring. I definitely know next time that I'm gonna uh um I'm definitely gonna write this all down and then just talk about it. That way we don't take too long. All right. So for this one, this would be called Largest Avenger. Sorry, Largest Avenger. And I'm pretty sure you guys all know where I'm going with this. This is kind of like what everybody was wondering about. Oh, is Ant-Man gonna get big? Yes, he is. What? Hold on, guys. I'm trying not to LARP right now. I'm trying to remember. There we go. Does Giant Man have an apostrophe? Or not apostrophe, a dash? Let's see. Hold on, let's double check. He does have an apostrophe. Dope. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure. Dope sauce. Dope sauce. Dope sauce. Dope sauce. All right. So during this ability, basically, you would you'd be able to step on people, doing basic damage. Obviously, it just makes the most sense. And hold on, let's clarify. Enemy characters. Cousin. What are we doing here? I think this would look really dope. And then, secondly, you would also have the ability to SWAT and pull people, like flyers mostly. I think that'd be like a really dope ability. His ultimate. All right, so that's basically all we have for the ultimate. That's all right. That's basically his kit. That's basically his kit. But next would be his. So, like I said, that'd be mostly his kit. Next, I think we're gonna do. How do I have it up here? I have possible suits, and then did I have team ups first? Yes, I had team ups first. Okay, cool, cool, cool. How do I write this? Hold on, I just want to make sure I write this correctly. Oh, team. Okay, cool. So this would be his team up abilities, and so for some of these, it's kind of just like uh, I write them down and they make sense with like they connect with like actual characters, and then they connect with other characters that I want or have already written down that I want to be in the game. So if you're like Josh, this character is not in the game. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like if they were in the game, I think this would be like a cool like ability or whatnot. All right, cool. All right, real quick. His first team up would be called Smallest Avenger, and you're like Josh. That's kind of lame. You just said that. You're right. I did just say that, but I'm still gonna use the name. Don't care. Nope. All right. So let me see. How did I have this up here? Okay. Cool. So whenever Hawkeye, just can't spell to save my life. Both agree to. I guess it's basically just like the Bucky and like Cap thing. Like you both press the button, or like I guess also like the Hulk and Wolverine thing. And then basically after you agree, be you would hold up, shrink down and hop on. Wow, we're just all over the board today. Wow, where's the R coming from? Hold up. Yeah, I think this would be like a really dope ability. Um, I think possibly like another way you could take this is like if you've seen I don't know, the Hawkeye show, he has like a pin particle bow and arrow. So like if you either want to do this one or because like this one I was kind of mimicking off of Civil War when he like flies on the arrow in that familiar comic. But if you wanted to go like a different way, because you're like Josh, this is like Loki kind of buns. You could definitely do like something like that where instead of that he just gets the ability and he can just shoot like a arrow, um, making the body part or like a person bigger. Maybe like medium size or something like that. Or I don't know. What are some other things you could make bigger? Maybe no. I think that's really basically it. Like I don't know what else you could make bigger. Hold up, hold up. I think I just came up with a dope idea. Hold on. Or we could definitely do this. I think this would look pretty dope. I'm thinking we're gonna do the Pim arrow idea. Yeah. So this would be, and then special or thing. Okay. Do we want it to grow? Okay, yeah, hold on. Yeah, here we go. This is how we're gonna do it. So it's gonna grow or shrink depending on who you hit. All right, this would also apply to people ulting. I know what you're thinking. Josh, this is already broken. You need to stop. And Josh is kind of dope. Um, yeah, I don't know why it autocorrected me. That's not what I was trying to do. I think that's like slang, whatever. Apply to people ulting. So I guess like a better example. Shrink or grow. And then you would hit her or or you hit the enemy Spider-Man. Wow, we just all over the place with this spelling today. All right, this is basically the idea. I think it would be definitely pretty cool. So basically, I guess to recap real quick, if you hit somebody on your team, they grow. If you hit somebody on the other team, they shrink, and that goes for people and like like things. So, for example, like I know this is like an ability on top of an ability, but I guess it's like my best example. Like obviously, there's shields, shields and shrink grow. That's the easiest way you can do it. Um, like if you guys know Emma's ability with, I don't know if she still has it with Elsa, not Elsa. Well, what am I saying? Emma's ability with Emma with why am I tweaking it? Emma's ability with Luna. There we go. There we go. Her ability of Luna, where she has the wall, like the ice wall. If she's on your team, you could shoot the arrow at that and it grows big. That way you could get extra cover. I think that'd be really dope. It'd be a very situational thing, but I think it would also be really cool. Especially with like ultimates, if Spider-Man on the other team's ulting on you real quick, boom, you shoot the arrow, he shrunk, his now he does kind of less damage, his radius is small. I think that'd be a really cool idea. I think I had another ability. Let's double check real quick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is my other one. I like this one a lot. So this one would be called Large Love. You're like Josh. The Wasp is not in the game. Yes, I know, but I have an idea for her later that I would definitely add. So let's calm down, guys. So Ant-Man would be the anchor, and the Wasp would be the recipient. Oh, we just we're all over the place here. And all right. So basically, how this would work is Ant-Man would be the anchor, and then whenever you get the chance, um, whenever you press the ability, you just get large. You turn into like Giant Man, but for the Wasp. I was very vague on how I wrote this one because I wanted, like, I obviously have to say her kit because I don't know if I want her to have the same like thing as Ant Man. And you're just like, Josh, that's too old, so you can't have that in the game. That's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't like really say like, oh, you can pull people down or stuff like that. Um, First, like obviously, like I said, Have to. It depends on like what the Wasp's kit is, and two, I don't want two ultimates in the game like that. I think it's cool as a team up ability. You get bigger and you just kind of do 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 or like whatever her ability is. Like I'm saying, but I think it's like as a baseline, cool team up. I think this would work. I think this would definitely work. And then it definitely wouldn't be the same amount of seconds. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the same duration as Ant-Man's Ultimate. So there's that. If you're really that, if you're like Josh, this doesn't, this is like this is another way to counteract that. All right, and then you're like, Josh, are we done yet? We've been here for an hour. Almost. Almost. I'm sorry for taking this long, but we got to get the suits or the skins, whatever you want to call them. Let's see what I called them earlier. That's what I called them. All right. I think these would be really dope. These would be definitely dope sauce. I just want to see. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. All right, I think I just wrote them down, just straight as. Okay, so for this one, we would have MCU. Okay, we'd have the MCU. Personally, this is my favorite. We'd have the MCU Civil War skin, and then we would have the Okay, we'd have the classic comic suit. The one with like the big helmet. Um, and then with this, you could have different variations. Like there's different Ant-Man, so you could have the original Hank Pym. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, you could have the Hank Pym one, and then you could have the Scott Lang one, and then you could even have, if you really wanted to, the Eric O'Grady one. I mean, you're like, Josh, who the hell is that? I'm pretty sure he's the third Ant-Man. I think he's the weird purple one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they would add this one in. They could. I don't know. He still is one of the Ant-Mans. All right, next one. This is one of my favorite ones. Like he's not one of my favorite characters. I just like the skin. Like I know he's a pretty bad. Like he's a pretty big douche. Oh, hold on, let me clarify. I guess I'll clarify it in a second. It'd just be the Ultimate Universe skin. It'd be the original one. The one from like the first Ultimate Comics. And then I know you're like, Josh, Ant-Man and the Wasp skin, what does that even mean? I'll show you in a second. Comic. Alright, man. Be Ant-Man and the Wasp comic run skin. I know you're like, Josh, that doesn't even make remote sense. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find it, actually. This is like a very, like, particular one that I have. Mm, I s- is it this one? This basically just looks like the Scott Lang one. Huh? I'm trying to figure it out real quick. This is that third Ant-Man that I was talking about. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Just don't tweak out. Wow, that was just terrible typing. This is not. Hold up. Okay, let's find something a little more comic. Wow, I just like have like the worst comic like searches today. Hmm. I think it might be on this one. And it's all pixelated. Poggers. Hmm. You could definitely add Goliath, not Goliath. Yeah, that's his Goliath one. You could definitely add that one. Um. Wow. Am I just like saying stuff that never existed? Like I've got to look like the actual like biggest like oh I've got to look like the big oh yes it's this one. This is the one I was talking about. This one's dope. Let me just I guess like the best way to clarify it would just be like black and red skin, right? Oh, wrong thing. And then lastly we would do accessories. Nope, still don't think it's spelled right. There you go. So this originally when I made this, it was like a long time ago. It was before accessories were a thing in Marvel Rivals. So I'm adding this now. But I think they'd just be really cool. I think first one would be Ultron. Second one could definitely be the Wasp. Janet. That'd make the most sense. And let me see if I can find it. This is exactly not at all what I meant. Okay, let's see if I can. This thing. This. This is what I meant. This is what I'm talking about. And then Weird Rabbit. I think we could do that one too. I think that one would be really funny. Like this. And then this is a long shot. This is the last one. World's Okay, hold on. I'm trying to remember what's it exactly called. Yeah, okay. World's best. This is definitely what we could have. World's best grandma. I don't know why I'm tweaking out on the word trophy. All right. So this would basically be all of Ant-Man. I think it would be like a really cool design. Um, Let me know what you guys would think. I definitely have somebody else planned. I know I'd say do two characters, but I didn't realize I would take an hour and 15 minutes. Partially, that's my fault. I should have definitely typed this all out beforehand. I think that would have made the most sense. You know, that's on me. Sorry about that. Next time, we're definitely going to type it out. That way I can just go boom, 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 boom. And let me know if you guys like this. If you want to see it, I'm going to post it on my Reddit and I'll post it on the Marvel Rivals Reddit, stuff like that. Excuse me. Other than that, let me know what you guys think, especially about the weekly update thing. I like doing those. And I'm definitely going to hop on some Rivals right after this. So, anybody that came in today, thank you for coming in. Much appreciated. Love you guys. And I'll see you next time, Peters.